Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Talking Philly Sports with Matty B program here on the Edge of Philly Sports Network. It is Tuesday, August the 30th, 2022. It's 9 p.m. and you're listening or watching EOP. That means you're with me, and boy, do we have a lot to talk about tonight. I am joined by my boy, Howie Roseman, made the special trip out here to sit in studio with me tonight, and we discuss a lot of happenings with the Philadelphia Eagles as today the Eagles, along with the other teams in the National Football League, had to get their rosters down to 53. And we're going to talk a little bit about where the Eagles stack in that list and all this Howie love that just has me gushing from ear to ear because the Eagles were active in making some trades today and making some moves. So we're going to get into all that here momentarily, but we're going to start this show off like we started off every week, folks, and that is with today, this week in Philadelphia sports history. And we go all the way back to 1913. And yes, that was long before I was born. Well, on this day in 1913, the Phillies and the New York Giants started playing a baseball game that would not complete for another 2 months. It took them 2 months to go through a non-inning baseball game. And you might be thinking, Matty B, how is that even possible? Well, I'm about to tell you how that's possible. I'm going to tell you right now. So I guess due to relentless heckling from the Philadelphia Philly faithful, the umpire suspended the game and awarded the victory to the New York Giants. But obviously, MLB and the Phillies protested, and they kind of went back and forth. It was then overturned and given to the Phillies, and then overturned yet again, and decided that they would finish the game in October and come up with a winner. I believe they had to play like 2 outs. They had 2 more outs to go before they would settle the game, but they did settle the game, and the Phillies actually won the game overall. So that was what your day in Philadelphia sports history is, all the way back to 1913 and the Phillies and Giants in a 2-month-long baseball game. Boy, that's my kind of game. 2 months long, huh? Yeah. All right, folks, listen. Let's get down to brass tacks, I guess. Let's get into what the big story in town today is. We're about a week and a half away from the start of the 2022 NFL season, and today the NFL mandated that all teams get down to a 53-man playing roster, and I believe they have till tomorrow or maybe a couple more days to get their 16, 17-man, whatever it is now, practice squad kind of hacked up and down on paper. And today the Philadelphia Eagles, well, they had to make those moves as well, and they did. Things kind of got started off in a bang for the Eagles as they started the day off by cutting one of their stalwart players that they were relying on from last year. Anthony Harris, a safety, not a big fan of his, was really not that good. But he was released earlier today. We got a little technical difficulty going on over here. I apologize for that. There we go. He was released today. Sorry about that, folks. God. He was released today. And then the Eagles pulled off a trade with the New Orleans Saints a little bit later in the day by acquiring the Saints defensive back Chauncey Gardner-Johnson. Giving up like pennies to get him. The Eagles would send their 2023 fifth-round pick and the worst of 2 sixth-round picks they have in 2024. The fifth-round pick is a 23 pick. And the Saints would get, and going back to the Eagles, is Johnson, as well as a even-numbered pick in the 2025 draft from the New Orleans Saints. So the minute that trade went down, the Howie apostles came flooding out the gates, man. I mean, it was Howie love left and right. Howie this, Howie that. God bless Howie and Howie friggin' we trust. Man, I had to listen to it for hours today. And I am all about giving Howie what the due that he deserves. As you can see, man, he's in studio with me tonight. Me and Howie, you're right. We're simpatico, man. We're brothers. We boys. Just kidding. I'll give Howie what he needs, and I'll give Howie what he deserves. And right now, he has not ever proven to me to be anything other than a horrible general manager, a horrible, misinformed, out of his league general manager. And I don't listen. The trade for going from Harris to Johnson is on paper is an upgrade, but we're going to ask Johnson to play strong safety. He's not a strong safety. He's a slot cornerback. Now, do we trust John Gannon and the rest of that buffoonery coaching staff down there in South Philadelphia to turn him into a slot safety or to a free safety or strong safety or a safety? I don't know. I had to listen to three guys tell me about 20 minutes ago how the NFL now is a positionless league, that it's just about athletes. I'm not buying that for not even a second. It is a position league. There's a reason why certain players play in certain positions. You can be the biggest and most athletic person in the world. It does not mean you can play every position on a football field or every position on a side of a football field. All right. So to say that we're going to seamlessly transition Johnson from a slot cornerback to a free safety or a strong safety, to me is right now is potential. Right now it's on paper. Right now it's a possibility. It's a strong possibility, and I hope the hell it works. But to laud Howie Roseman for being this incredibly gifted soothsayer and prophesizer and roster constructor, to me is becoming very annoying. Okay. We are in the problems, we are in the bind that we are in as a Philadelphia Eagle organization because of Howie Roseman, because of his mismanagement of the roster, his mismanagement of the draft, his mismanagement of free agents. Everything Howie has done has turned this team to shit. And now we're going to laud him because on paper, 1 year, he's made the right moves in the draft or he's made the right moves in free agency. We're going to laud him. We're going to bestow upon him the gift of benevolency because of one friggin' off season. Well, of course, we haven't played any games yet. We haven't got up on the field yet and played anything, right? We still got questions at the most important position on the freaking team, and that's quarterback. We don't have a franchise quarterback, but we overlooked that. Oh, well, Jaylen Hurst, he might be the franchise quarterback. And if he isn't, we got that New Orleans Saint first-round draft pick that we got last year on draft day that we can parlay that into a top 5 pick. Potentially, if the Saints suck this year, which they probably will. So to sit here and tell me Howie Roseman is anything other than a out-of-his-league, beyond his depth GM, I'm not going to buy it, man. Howie Roseman is a fraud. Howie Roseman is a buffoon. Howie Roseman has set us upon this raft in the first place. And now he's receiving all these great comments and accolades about fixing the roster. We haven't played one game yet, folks. We haven't gotten on the field yet. But yet we want to bestow upon him this benevolency and this royalness. It makes me friggin' sick. What has happened to this town? What has happened to this franchise? And then when I ultimately say, what if we won with Howie Roseman, I get the Super Bowl thrown up in my face. Like it happened last season. It's 5 years ago, guys. 5 friggin' years ago, we won the Super Bowl. Doug Peterson's credit for the Super Bowl lasted 3 years. Carson Wentz's credit lasted 3 years. Nick Foles' credit lasted 2 years. Why is Howie Roseman continuing on? Why are we making excuses for him? He's been here since 2013, and he's missed consistently on every single draft he's had, with the exception of potentially the last 2. And then 2018, I'll give him that one too. He hasn't done enough for me. He hasn't done enough for me to garner or to expect the amount of praise and love that he receives from the Philadelphia Eagle faithful. It makes me sick how we gush over this guy for a guy that's done nothing. He fell ass backwards into that Super Bowl roster. He fell ass backwards into it. Ever since then, he hasn't been able to replicate any of it. Hasn't been able to replicate any of it. They wanted to run it back in 2018, 19, and 20. Where did that get us? It got us nowhere. It got us deeper. Now, as we move forward into this season, everyone thinks, well, how can I call myself an Eagle fan if I am so anti-Howie? That's exactly why I'm an Eagle fan. Because I see Howie Roseman as a cancer on this team, sucking the lifeblood out of it, sucking the lifeblood out of the fan base, sucking our legitimacy in the National Football League out of us. Howie Roseman needs to be fired now. Needs to be gone today. I will help drive him out of town wherever he wants to go. I cannot stand Howie Roseman. And I'm going to die on that hill. Because if they go around and they win the Super Bowl, and that's another thing. Let me gravitate to that. When I bring up, are we a Super Bowl team? I always hear this. No, we're not a Super Bowl team, but we're progressing in that direction. What the hell does that mean? We've been progressing in that direction since 2013, since he came here. Every year we progress in that direction. What the hell does that mean? So Howie has a lifetime contract as we progress in the direction of a Super Bowl championship? Folks, I don't got 52 more years to wait for the next Super Bowl. I don't. And at this rate, that's about what we're headed towards, about 52 years. We are not an elite team in the National Football League. We are not an elite team in the NFC. We're not even the best team in our own division. But yet, Howie operates under this above the law level of existence. For what? What? Tell me what he has done. And don't throw the Super Bowl out at me, because that check or that credit card bill came due a long time ago. So the Eagles got down to 53 men. And look, we're going to go over the roster here. And for those of you, a little programming note, tomorrow on my podcast, I am going to have the 94 WIP show producer and the host and co-creator Kyle Quinn from the Birds IQ podcast here on EOP. He's going to join me on my podcast. And we're going to cut up the NFL. We're going to cut up every team in the NFL. We're going to talk division champions. We're going to talk wild card, Super Bowl. We're going to get into some Howie. We're going to get into all kinds of Eagle stuff too. So be on the lookout for that podcast. It should drop sometime tomorrow. But let's get into the roster, shall we? And there it is. Pretty basic graphic. The Eagles decided to go ahead with 2 quarterbacks to start the season. Now, there's a lot of talk, and I agree with this. There's no way they're going to go with 2. They're going to have a third quarterback. It'll be on the practice squad. Who that third quarterback will be, I don't know. But Jaylen Hurst obviously is going to be your starter, and Gardner Minshew is going to back him up. The Eagles said goodbye to Reed Stinnett and to Carson Strong. Carson Strong being one of the most the weirdest type situations that we don't know anything about what happened there. I'm a big Carson Strong guy. I was really big on him coming out of college. I really thought he had what it took in the NFL to make it in the NFL. Big, powerful arm, big kid. Sees the field really well, has football IQ, but for some god-awful reason, he couldn't get on the field for the Eagles. He attempted 4 passes in the entire preseason, just was really a non-existent factor within the Philadelphia Philly offense. Didn't really stand much of a chance to make this team, and he was released. And then Reed Stinnett, the team's incumbent third-string quarterback, was also released, thank God. So the Eagles will start the season off with 2 quarterbacks. Obviously, that's not how things are going to work out. They will potentially add a third quarterback, possibly or definitely, most probably, will be added to the practice squad. But there you have your 2 quarterbacks to start the season for the Eagles are going to be Gardner and Jaylen Hurts. And Walter chimes in with A.J. Brown for Trey Burke was a great swap. How do we know that there, Walter? We don't know what Trey Burks is going to be. We don't know what A.J. Brown's going to be here. We haven't played anything. Why are we doing this? Why are you saying to me that's a great swap? Trey Burke hasn't played 1 snap in the NFL yet. A.J. Brown hasn't played 1 snap for the Eagles yet. How can we say that's a great swap? I think we paid too much for him. Honestly, I think we paid too much for Jordan Davis too. But again, we don't know any of this yet. We got to play the games. We're crowning the Eagles I call it the paper Super Bowl. Howie is a killer offseason. How do we know that? How do we know he's had a killer offseason? We haven't played any games. In about a week and a half, we're going to find out, or we're going to start to find out. So just pump the brakes, people, all right? Pump them, man. Pump. Anyway, so Jaylen Hurts and Gardner Minshew are going to be your quarterbacks. Jaylen Hurts will be entering his 3rd year of his rookie year. Not his rookie contract, but his rookie year. Because if you listen to people around this town, he's progressing through the longest rookie season in NFL history as he attempts to figure out how to play quarterback. And then he may or may not be the answer here in Philadelphia. We don't know yet. Howie doesn't know. The Eagle fan base doesn't know. And I don't think Nick Sirianni and the Eagles know yet what Jaylen Hurts will bring to the field. But yet, once again, we're going to crown old Skippy back there the greatest GM in the world because he brought us a quarterback that we don't know what his ability is in the year 3 of his time as a starter. Anyway, so Gardner Minshew and Jaylen Hurts, which I'm pretty surprised about. I thought they would definitely have moved Gardner in the preseason. I thought he was going to get sent. Obviously, there wasn't a big enough injury to a big enough quarterback that prompted a deal because obviously Howie's going to hold out for a 1st or 2nd round pick. So nothing really surprising about the 2 quarterbacks at all, really. Pretty much expected, and we're going to move forward with that group. On to the running backs. You got Kenny Gainwell, Miles Sanders, and Boston Scott. Same three running backs from last season. The Eagles are only going with three. I expect them to add a fourth running back, potentially Jordan Howard, maybe returning for his 25th go around with the Eagles. But, no real changes in that room. Miles Sanders obviously entering the contract year, a big year potentially for him to show off whether or not he can stay here or potentially what he could be worth to another team moving on in the future. So no real big surprises with the running back room. The running back is a position in the NFL that has been degraded over the years. It is no longer the position that everybody covets or remember how back in the day, it's just not that type of position anymore. Wide receivers, the Eagles went ahead with A.J. Brown, Zach Pascal, Jalen Reagor, Devontae Smith, and Quez Watkins. So that's 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 5 wide receivers are now going to be joining this team. Obviously, Jalen Reagor is the big name on that list. It depends, I guess, on who you talk to about why Jalen Reagor is still on this team. He was allegedly rumored to be being shopped around today. I guess there was rumors between the Eagles and Vikings today that they were looking to make a deal to send Jalen Reagor to Minnesota, but the Eagles wouldn't come down any further than a 5th-round pick, and that's what Minnesota was prepared to offer him for Jalen Reagor, which, to be honest with you, is more than fair, if you ask me, for yet another bust of a draft pick that Howie Roseman selected a couple of years ago. So, the big thing about Jalen Reagor is he's here because it would cost too much to cut him. And that's, if anybody believes anything other than that, you don't know much about the Eagles or Howie Roseman or the game of football. He is here truly because it would just be too much to cut him. Once again, a bad player selected by the great Howie Roseman, and we're stuck with because we can't move away from him because economically it doesn't work out. Now, will Jalen Reagor be traded between now and the October trade deadline? Potentially. Definitely potentially. But I don't think he's getting a 1st or 2nd round pick from. I don't think he's getting a 3rd round pick from. He might be able to go down as or go up higher than 4. But Reagor will not garner you anything more than a 4th round draft pick or above for him. To think that any team is going to pay you anything more for that, it's ludicrous, Howie. Absolutely ludicrous. But those are your 5. Notable missing from that list. John Hightower was released by the Eagles, a Howie Roseman draft pick of a couple years ago as well. So what's your feeling about the 5 wide receivers? Pretty, again, nothing real surprising there. Nothing at all. Jalen Reagor is probably the odd man out in that group. I don't think he'll see the field much. I don't expect him to see the field at all. Maybe as a punt returner or a kickoff returner, which, of course, is not a great option for us, nor is it a great option for Jalen Reagor. Once again, we're saddled with a bad player. We can't get rid of him because of our friggin' fraud GM. Tight ends, we got Grant Cotrera, Dallas Goedert, and Jack Stoll. I'm pretty surprised that Stoll beat out Dick Rod. Richard Rodgers was cut by the Eagles, and not because of the fact that Richard Rodgers is good. It's Richard Rodgers, man, and he's been with this team 75 years, and you would think that he'd have a guaranteed roster spot every year. But there you have it. There's your 3 tight ends for the Eagles in 2022. Offensive line, the Eagles went with 10, stacking in the offensive line. Landon Dickerson, Andre Dillard, Jack Driscoll, Lane Johnson, Cam Jurgens, Jason Kelsey, Jordan Mailata, Sua Opeta, Isaac Seminalo, and Josh Sills. Josh Sills is the UDFA, made this team straight out of camp. Congratulations to him. That's awesome, actually. Surprises in that group, obviously, we're going to go to Andre Dillard, yet another 1st-round draft pick, bust. There was a lot of rumors that had him going different places this offseason, potentially going to Dallas to replace the offensive lineman they lost down there. Not so much the case. He'll be a competent backup. But when you listen to people around this town, Andre Dillard went from a bust and a Howie mistake to, it's great to have the depth now of an Andre Dillard there to back up that offensive line. He's a 1st-round friggin' draft pick, guys. You don't draft people in the 1st round for depth pieces. You draft people in the 1st round to make impact. So once again, we're going to make excuses for this buffoon of a general manager by selecting the wrong player and putting him in a position to be a backup when he should have been here and starting all along, but he's never sniffed the field at all. And yet, but once again, we're going to laud, we're going to cradle him. We're going to say how much of a friggin' great GM he is and how lucky we are to have him here in Philadelphia. which is not the case. So there's your offensive line. Again, the Eagles going heavy with that 10. D-line, you got Derek Barnett, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis, Brandon Graham, Javon Hargrave, Trayvon Jackson, Josh Sweat, Marlon Tupoloa, and Milton Williams. That's an interesting group. It is. You got two players along that defensive line in Fletcher Cox and Brandon Graham, who are potentially playing in their final seasons here in Philadelphia. Not a bad group, but a lot of question marks there. A lot of uncertainty with that group. Is that group going to be good enough to generate enough pressure up front? We all know what Jordan Davis is billed at coming out of college. He's a run stopper, but does he have the athleticism to be much of a pass threat? Are teams going to double him on the pass? Our team's just going to single cover him coming on the pass rush. I don't think anybody is concerned about Jordan Davis coming up the middle on a pass rush. Obviously, they're going to triple team him when they want to try to run against him. But is that group anchored by Jordan Davis now? Is that really scaring anybody in this league? I'm not saying that it ain't, and I'm not saying that it is. It's got a potential of being a very good group, but it also has the potential to be the same type of group it was last year. Derek Barnett, is he going to come out and be Derek Barnett every game with that 15-yard personal foul penalty when we don't need it? I mean, is it going to be that? Is it always going to be him again this year? So there's some potential in that group, but that's what it is. It's potential. And for a GM that's been in this town for over 10 years, why are we still talking about potential? Why aren't we talking about a rock-solid group of players and that we're adding depth to? Why are we talking everything from starter to fourth string as potential? If you look at some of these positions, most of them, we speak of that. We say, well, this is a good group potentially. Jaylen Hurst is a good quarterback potentially. The wide receiver crew, with the exception of A.J. Brown, has a lot of potential. The offensive line, stacked. They'll give you that. The defensive secondary unit, potential. Listen, you talk potential when you're talking your second unit through your fourth unit, but we're speaking potential about all of our units on this team. And nobody has a problem with that. Nobody has an issue with that going into the season, speaking potential for everything from your starters all the way down to your fourth string. I do. I got problems with that, guys. I got a lot of problems with that. Because that's not what a championship football team is. That's what a 500 football team is. That's what a team that's trying to search for an identity is. We shouldn't be searching for identity with Howie Roseman at this point in his tenure here. We should be raking in the Super Bowls. We should be competing consistently every year for that elusive title. But we're not. We're always rebuilding, and we're always trying to reach our potential. So linebackers, Sean Bradley, a surprise that he made the team. Nakobe Dean, who has been the biggest, one of the biggest camp busts so far, as he's gotten off to a very slow start. TJ Edwards, K'Ron Johnson, Patrick Johnson, Hassan Reddick, Davion Taylor, and Kazir White. Listen, if you're looking at a group that's potentially, again, I'm going to use that P word all often here, that is potentially rebounded or potentially revamped or potentially really going to be really good and potentially a lot better than they've been in 10, 15 years, it is definitely your linebacking core. They got some guys there that could really turn this team and this defense around, and I think that might be the secret here for the defense. It's not going to be the pass rush up front. It's not going to necessarily be your secondary play. So where they're going to get from that middle of the field. So what kind of pressure they're going to generate from the linebacking core. What kind of pass coverage are the linebackers going to be able to provide this team coming at for receivers out of the slot or receivers out of the backfield or the tight end? What are those individuals going to do? Because that has been a position that we've been victimized pretty bad over the years lately with just lack of talent. And right now, I got to give it to Howie, because right now that linebacking core is got the most talent that I've seen on it in probably ever in my plus 40 years as an Eagle fan. Right now, they got the most projected talent. But that's just it. It's potential. And we got to see how it all kind of equates. And we'll get to that here in a second. But let's continue on with this roster. Then we're going to talk about our defensive backfield. James Bradbury, Josh Jobe, Avonte Maddox, Zach McPherson, Josiah Scott, and Darius Slay. A solid group. Once again, potentially the best ones we've had in a long time. The big wild card there is James Bradbury. Is James Bradbury that good? He had a really bad year last year if you weren't paying attention to him, and nobody really was. I wasn't. But I went back and looked at some of his stuff. He did not have a good year. And again, he played for the Giants, who could not generate a pass rush against me. But he didn't have a good year. Okay, he was left out to dry a lot, and I'll give him that, but he did not have a good year. Has that going to equate at all to this season? I don't know. Again, I don't know. It's a question mark. But that is definitely the big wild card in that secondary is going to be the play of James Bradbury as he tries to kind of equate himself to that into that cornerback role opposite of big play or no play Slay. All right, so our safeties: Reed Blankenship, Marcus Epps, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Kayvon Wallace round out the safety group. You know, the pickup of Johnson on paper was a stroke of genius from Howie Roseman. This kid's good, but he's coming in here on his last year of his rookie deal. Okay, are we getting a rental here? Or are we going to get a long-term kid? He's also going to be asked to play safety, a position he hasn't played. He's only played, I believe I saw a stat, 4% of his snaps in football have been at the safety spot. Okay, so we're going to ask him to be a full-time safety this year. Can he do it? Can John Gannon find a way to get him to do it? Can he put him in the right positions as a safety to make that transition easier on him? Is John Gannon going to be able to utilize his physicality, his aggressiveness? Is he going to put him in those types of positions? All these things are unknown. But on paper, it was a great move. Obviously, when, Harris was nothing. To get this guy for Harris, it's pretty damn good. I'll give Howie that all day long. But that safety group, everybody on that safety group, Blankenship, who's a UDFA, Marcus Epps, and Kayvon Wallace, who, to be honest with you, I don't know how he even made the team. That group has been a group that has not been addressed properly over the last 5 or 10 years, thanks to the guy behind me. And now all of a sudden we make one trade and we pick up one UDFA and we're the greatest safety group in the NFL. Come on, guys. What the hell are we doing here, man? What are we doing? It's better, potentially. Again, the P word, potentially better than what we've had. Or it could be worse. We don't know yet. So, once again, pump the brakes. And then our specialist groups, nothing really changed there. Elliott, Lovato, and old Sippos will be doing the punting for year number 2. So there you have it. There's your Philadelphia Eagle 3-man roster. For good or for bad or for indifference, there's a team that we're going to start the 2022 season off with. Now, of course, there's going to be some wrinkles and changes around. The Eagles definitely will add a third quarterback. They probably will add a fourth running back. Someone's not going to make it. Someone's going to get hurt. Different things are going to go down. But there, in essence, and in black and white, is your initial 53-man roster. And how are you feeling about that? Is this a 13-win team? Is this a 12-win team? Is this an 8-win team? What do you guys feel? I'm going to be giving my picks tomorrow on my podcast. Be on the lookout for that sometime tomorrow afternoon. It should drop. But where are you looking at as we enter into 2022? Is this the team that's going to bring us the NFC East? Is this the team that's going to bring us the NFC Championship? Is this the team that's going to bring us the Super Bowl? Because when I talk Super Bowl around here, I get a lot of sideways looks like, what are you, crazy? You're jumping the gun. Well, why should I be looked at like that? Isn't that the goal, folks, to win a Super Bowl? But every year we hear the same thing. We're progressing. Give Howie some time. I've given Howie a lot of time, and I've seen him make a mess out of this thing. We are no closer to winning a Super Bowl now than we were in 2016. Okay? We are in the same boat. We haven't progressed not one damn iota, with the exception of 2017, which was lightning in the bottle. So why do we relentlessly give him that time? Why does Howie deserve that time from us? What has he done to deserve that time from us? Because I really want to know. Every draft pick not everyone, but what draft picks, with the exception of Lane Johnson and Zach Ertz, and Zach Ertz is not here no more, have been off the charts for Howie Roseman? Huh? I hear a lot of, well, give him a couple years. He's getting there. He's developing. He's got potential. I hear a lot of potential with Howie Roseman. Howie Roseman's been the GM of this organization for 11 or 12 years now. It should no longer be about potential. It should be about results. But yet we still talk about potential. Howie Roseman is a fraud. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid. Wake up, Philadelphia, and wipe the crap out of your eyes and look at what we have. He's a fraud of a GM. who dangles a carrot in front of our faces every September. And then in January, we go back and we relook all this stuff and we're like, how did we think that so-and-so was going to be good? Why were we talking ourselves into so-and-so? And to say that Howie has had a hell of an offseason based on what? What are you basing it on? Because you're not basing it on wins and losses. And that, at the end of the day, is all that matters in the NFL, is wins and friggin' losses. So the judgment on Howie's offseason is not final until the end of the season. And I pray to God that it's 13-4, 16-1. I pray to God it's a Super Bowl. But the realistic expectation of this team is that what the realistic expectation of this team is? Because even the staunchest of Eagle fans tell me not to talk Super Bowl because we're not a Super Bowl caliber team. Why not? Why aren't we a Super Bowl caliber team? Isn't that the goal? Why aren't we there yet? It's been 5 years since we won last. Why are we not a Super Bowl caliber team? I'm going to tell you why. Because of the guy standing behind me. That's why we're not a Super Bowl caliber team. That's why we're a team that every season we talk about potential. Every season we talk about how Howie had a great offseason or how Howie's drafted so well over the last 2 years. But we don't talk about wins and losses because the wins and losses and how it kind of pans out on the field is not Super Bowl quality. It's not championship football. It's 500. It's stuck in the mud. It's stuck in neutral football. Tell me who the franchise quarterback is for the Philadelphia Eagles. The most important position on the football field, we don't know who it is because of our great friggin' benevolent GM back there. Tell me who the franchise quarterback is for the Philadelphia Eagles. You can't because we don't got one. And don't give me the whole, well, 25 out of 32 teams, well, they don't really have a friend. I don't want to hear that nonsense. You need a franchise quarterback to win a Super Bowl. Talk to Tom Brady. Talk to Matt Stafford. Talk to Peyton Manning and John Elway. We've not had one here since 2010. 2010. Skippy back there has been driving the boat since 2013. Where is our franchise quarterback, Howie Roseman? Where is our franchise quarterback? I'm waiting for an answer, Howie. I mean, I can stand here all night if you want. My point is this. Every year it's potential. But we shouldn't be talking potential. We're the Philadelphia friggin' Eagles. We should be talking about championships. We should be talking like we talked from 2001 2000 to 2012. Why aren't we talking like that? Why aren't we talking like that? Why aren't we talking every season that we are perennial NFC East champions? We're perennial NFC championship game participants. We're perennial Super Bowl teams. Why don't we speak those words anymore? Skippy has a lot to do with that. He has driven this team into the depths of hell. And it saddens me not only for the fact that what he has done to this organization, but it saddens me the Kool-Aid that he has made my beloved Philadelphia Eagle fans drink. To follow him in onto the tail of the comet. Wake up. Stop drinking the damn Kool-Aid. Open your friggin' eyes. We have another year of potential in front of us. And I hope to God that the Philadelphia Eagles realize their potential. I do. But right now I see too many question marks once again. What questions have been answered from 2021 to 2022? We don't know that, right? Because we obviously haven't played football. And my rant for the last 25 minutes has been by saying we can't say anything until we play football, right? So we don't know that. On paper, it looks pretty damn good. But should I make an origami Vince Lombardi trophy and present that to Howie? Because that's what he's won this offseason, right? The paper Super Bowl. But that doesn't mean anything. It means something on the field. And let's talk about the coaching staff. Who has got confidence in Nick Sirianni to lead this team anywhere? Are you raising your hand back there, Howie? I can't see. Oh, yeah, you are, kind of. Who's got confidence in John Gannon to lead this defense? John Gannon was a dumpster fire last year, and then we were going to fall on the sword of he didn't have the personnel. He didn't have the personnel. So is John Gannon going to turn into, Jim Johnson this year? Is he going to renaissance the defensive side of football? Is he going to put Johnson in the right position? Hassan Reddick in the right position, free up Jordan Davis, create outside pressure. Is he going to do all those things for this team? Hopefully he does. I don't know. Nick Sirianni's not calling plays anymore on the offense. Is Sean Steichen, whatever the hell his name is he going to be able to give Jaylen Hurst the keys to the castle, and Jaylen Hurst is going to drive away with it? I said the keys to the castle, and Jaylen Hurst driving a castle. You guys know what I mean. Too many question marks, man. But every year, we want to talk ourselves into, man, we had a great offseason. We're going to do it. And every year is the same thing. And then we make excuses for this buffoon of the GM standing behind me. I want to know why. And I want to know, maybe am I too radical here? Have I gone off the Howie Roseman deep end? Should I not come up too fast, or I might get the bends? I mean, am I way off to the right on this? Should I give Howie more of a break because he's won a Super Bowl 5 years? Is 20 years from now when we haven't won a Super Bowl, am I going to be asking the same question? Do I got to give Howie a break because it's been 25 years since we won a Super Bowl? I don't know if I'll be alive. Will I? Yeah. I'm asking, and I want to know. I want to know. Am I wrong? Am I wrong to want the best for my football team? Am I wrong to want this fraud gone from my football team? Am I wrong? Majority of EOP tells me I am. Am I wrong? Black and white says I'm not. Wins and losses say I'm not. And this season, I can't make projections on it right now because there's too many question marks with this football team. Right now, in my opinion, this team's a 500 team because there's too many unknowns. Too many unknowns. There's too many wild cards. There's too many Howie Rosemans running around that football field. Potential frauds. So right now I project them to be a 500 team because I don't know. I don't know how Kazir White's going to do. I don't know how A.J. Brown's going to do. I don't know how Jaylen Hurst is going to friggin' do, man. It really kind of begins and ends there, doesn't it? We're expecting this quarterback to go through a major renaissance in one season. But when he struggles, what are we going to hear? We're going to hear two things when Jaylen Hurts struggles. We're going to hear, well, give Gardner Minshew a chance. And then we're going to hear, well, don't worry about it. We have a top 5 potential draft pick next year to actually go out and find a quarterback. So I guess another year of waiting. Another realistic year of no Super Bowl. But why? Why should we wait? Why do we have to be patient? Why can't we be the Patriots? Why can't we be teams like the Steelers? Why can't we go on a run like the 49ers did? Why can't we do those things? I'm going to tell you why. Because of Skippy. And as long as he's here, we will never be a dynasty. We will never be a champion again. If that buffoon and fraud of a GM standing behind me remains with this team. I'm going to say it now, and I'm going to say it with my last dying breath. Fire Howie. Fire him tonight. Fire him right now. Give him give him his severance pay. Get him the hell out of here now. And let's get a GM in here who knows how to build a football team. And we can stop talking about question marks. We can stop talking about potential. We can put football players on the field. We can bring in a real goddamn head coach with a real scheme. And we can win some football games. And we can win some championships. And we can be the team that we're supposed to be. Instead of this craziness with this weasel. Fire Howie Roseman now. Let me pull myself back. All right, I'm back. All right. Listen, hey, all joking aside, there's, he's made some moves that potentially could be good, but I'm just tired of it. I'm tired of the potential. I want to see it. I want to see the results, and I want to see them now. I got to listen to people talk me into to the latest pick. I got to listen to people talk me into Chauncey Gardner-Johnson about being a good player and an upgrade. He is an upgrade from Anthony Harris. He's a potential upgrade. He's a hell of a slot cornerback. Is he going to be a good free safety or a strong safety? I don't know. Wait and see. But, you don't have to go into that depth to try to convince me about a player like that. Let's go to the most important position on the field and talk about Jaylen friggin' Hurts, okay? When you can't sit there and tell me to my damn eyes and my face that Jaylen Hurts is our franchise quarterback, that we're going to ride and die with Jaylen Hurts, and that he is ultimately going to be handed over the millions and millions of dollars of a franchise quarterback, if you can't do that for me, then everything else does not friggin' matter. It's just a bunch of pieces that are going to try to fit together. But if you don't got the franchise quarterback to pull it all together, it doesn't matter. We're not going to win a Super Bowl. And that is what the goal is, to win a Super Bowl each and every friggin' year. And right now, that fool, where's he at? that fool, Howie Roseman it's not going to happen with him. God, I keep on sliding back. Let's take a look at some of these comments here. You guys have been chiming on. I appreciate it. Walter, I already took care of that one. Walter's got me another one. Yeah, J.J. Arcega-Whiteside cut by the Seahawks. Is there a shock there, Walter? Were you concerned? Were you, surprised about that? No, I know I wasn't. China Bank says, why are you saying that he's a fraud? Do I have to go back? Listen, it takes too much out of me to go back into that every time. Just replay this once it goes on to once I'm done with this, it'll be up on our Facebook page, or on YouTube. Go ahead and just play it back. You'll see it. You'll see why he's a fraud. Oh, he's changing. Okay, what's he changing into? Is he morphing? Dave Yarnell says he called him Skippy. I did, Dave. He is Skippy. Skippy Roseman in my eyes, man. That's what he is. And then we're going to go ahead and fire Skippy. I like that, Dave. I might actually start using that. Okay, he's a franchise quarterback. I'm not saying Nick Foles was a franchise quarterback. The last franchise quarterback we had in this team was Donovan McNabb. That was it. Now, Nick Foles will go down in history as the best quarterback in the organization because he's the only one who won a Super Bowl. Yeah, I mean, that's just the reality of it. But no, I agree with you. Nick Foles was not a franchise quarterback. Donovan McNabb was the last franchise quarterback we had. And he wanted to put, yeah. What are you trying to tell me? That the Nick Foles, Doug Williams type thing is something that's going to happen in the NFL every year? Come on, man. Come on. You need a franchise quarterback. And we don't have one. Simply put. All right, everybody. This is the schedule here on EOP. Yesterday, the Sully Squad and Party on Broad. Tonight, you had the Kelly Green Hour Fighting's final earlier with me, Matty B. That was on earlier tonight. Birds at the Round Table. You're watching Talking Philly Sports with Matty B. And then a little bit later tonight is Chalk Talk. And remember, if Howie Roseman is really bothering you in life and you're thinking about doing something bad, just the guy you probably need to call, Dave Cherry, workman's comp, motor vehicle accident, personal injury, or criminal law. Dave Cherry's the man to give a call, 610-565-0300. Tell him Matty B and EOP sent you, and he'll take great care of you. And as I mentioned, tomorrow, be on the lookout. Before I was an EOP sensation and the president of the Howie Roseman fan club, I ran a OG little podcast called Talking Philly Sports with Matty B, and I still do that podcast, and it is available anywhere you can find your podcast. And tomorrow, as I mentioned, will be a big one, as I will start my third year of Eagles podcasting or Eagles talk, and Kyle Quinn will be joining me for his third season with me, and we're going to talk some Eagles, some NFL, and the Eagles tomorrow. If you thought I went off doing a rant today, check out tomorrow. It'll probably be a lot better, as me and Kyle always brings out the worst in me and whatever. But We're going to talk Eagles. We're going to talk NFL. We're going to see who our winners and our losers are this season, and have some fun at it as well. So, again, be there tomorrow. And I don't have the slide anymore, but tomorrow is the last day you can sign up for the Philly Sports Trips bus tour or bus trip down to DC to check out the Eagles play the Commanders on September 25th. Hurry up! There's like less than 200 spots left, or like maybe less than that now. Get them while you can. I will be going. I think I'm going to that game, so you'll have an opportunity to sit there, and I'll talk about Howie Roseman the whole time if you want. But go ahead over to phillysportstrips.com and sign up while you can still sign up. And yeah. So listen, folks, I'm glad that you were able to come with me and kind of go on my rant tonight. It was a 1 for 4 tonight because I talked about the Phillies a little bit earlier on a different show. Phillies will be playing here. Actually, they've already begun. If you want to check out the Fightins final, it'll be back on tomorrow. But obviously, we all, real quick about the Phillies, 13-7, blowing a 7-0 lead. Just can't have that, man. You can't have it when you're trying to fight for a playoff spot, and still trying to fight for a division, in my opinion, in the NL East. So Philly's got to work some things out, and hopefully they use what happened last night and what happened on Sunday, losing to the Pirates 5-0, and hope they use it as a galvanizing experience to kind of bring them together and kind of learn from these mistakes, and we don't go back into that late season, disaster that we've been doing the last 3 or 4 years. And time will tell with that. But check out the Fightins final tomorrow, as we will come back at you and give you the best in Philadelphia Philly post-game shows. And on behalf of my main man, Howie Roseman, I want to thank you guys for coming out and checking me out tonight. A lot of stuff coming up, a lot of great stuff starting next week. I guess I'll give you guys a kind of a window into this starting next week, and then going throughout the football season. I will be having other people come on. So, we got the Lions coming up. So I'm going to have somebody from the Detroit Lions podcasting world come on and talk to me. We're going to cut up the game the following week, against the Vikings and so on and so forth, all the way through the rest of the season. So that'll be a feature on my show from here on out to the end of the football season, as well as, of course, we're getting ready for hockey. And I know it's man, they're just coming at me one after the other here. I got to get revved up for the Flyers. We'll be doing a Flyer post-game show this fall here on EOP called Clear the Ice. I'll be hosting it. So I'm a glutton for punishment, I guess. But a lot of great things on the horizon for EOP. It's always a pleasure to come on and talk with you guys. Fire Howie Roseman now. Do it already. Let's get on from him. Let's move on. Let's get more answers. Let's get more answers than questions here in Philadelphia. And that's all I'm asking for. I want more answers than questions. And right now, that buffoon gives me more questions than answers, and I can't take it anymore. So fire Howie now. Listen, until we talk again next week, you guys have a good rest of the week. And what they say is that is the news, and I'm out of here.